Hi, my name is Cheryl Camarillo, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker as well as a certified sex addiction therapist. Today, we're going to be covering behavioral issues related to betrayal trauma. This is when a person's partner has cheated on them, having affairs, or maybe they're online looking through dating apps. It could also be that they're watching pornography online. There's other areas where a person could have, sex addiction and acting out, and that would include things like massage parlors, gentlemen's clubs, things like that. So I have, a private practice where I work with people that have these sex addictions, but one of the things that happened along the way is that when I would start working with the person, then their partner would come in sometimes as an individual or sometimes as part of the couple work. And it was then that I started to hear consistently the message that's all great and fine that he's feeling better because he's working on his issues. But what does that mean for me? When is someone going to pay attention to how I was affected by um, by this behavior? And I really started to think a little bit more intensively about that. I looked for other people in my area that worked with betrayal trauma, and it was limited. I did manage to find a couple of people. The the issue with working with sex addiction is that as a therapist, I'm a certified sex addiction therapist, but I've also had to go and get additional training in betrayal trauma. And then I got even more training in relationship recovery. So there is like a three-part system that, sex addiction generally has as a pattern. The first is that there's a crisis. Sometimes people call that D Day or Discovery Day. Maybe you were, picking up the iPad and you happened to scan through history accidentally because you were looking for something you'd put in there and realize that there's a lot of porn sites popping up in the history. Or maybe you saw your partner's phone light up and somebody was texting him. So you pick it up to take it over to your partner and glance down and realize that this is a message coming from another woman. Other ways that you might find out about your partner's problematic sexual behavior could include having the person that they're having an affair with contact you, or possibly you finding female or feminine things that you know are not yours amongst your partner's belongings. So after discovery, we consider that whole um, beginning as a crisis. Then there comes the next part. Like once you've had a crisis, what are you going to do about that? So the next part has to do with stabilization. It's the part of treatment where you do your own work individually, where you might meet occasionally as part of the couple system to, discuss maybe boundaries, possibly uh, impact, sharing information, things like that. I like to bring the partners in so that they have a good idea of what I am working with, so that they trust me and that they believe that their partner is actually addressing this problem. When I made the decision to offer services to partners, I did 2 things. I started seeing some partners individually, especially if they located me or found me online and called and asked for the extra support. I also started a support group for the women that I was seeing individually in counseling or as part of the couple. The support group turned out to be very helpful for a lot of the women that I'm working with, and so I continued it over an extended period of time. Ultimately, my goal was to develop a program to address those first few months after finding out about the crisis so that you could start the healing process. The relationship is usually in a lot of turmoil. Trust levels are not there. There's a lot of emotions from both sides. So that would be that would be part of the reason that I bring women in. But I also have a men's group so that they can share and discuss maybe some of the things that they're doing for their addiction, as well as some of the things that they are doing to help in healing their relationship with their partner. I recently had a discussion with a group of men regarding their partner's emotions, and it does serve as a trigger sometimes to know that your partner can find some piece of information and automatically assume that this is related to old behaviors or sexually acting out again. The biggest, I guess, source of arguments could be things like what's online. When the history is checked, is there, downloaded dating apps, or is there, um, specific things coming off of Pornhub? Maybe there's explicit pictures coming off of Instagram or um, a variety of other social media options. The work that women have to do in order to heal is pretty intense. And I know because I've had to work through some of those issues myself. I had a partner who was very involved in porn addiction. So then the question becomes, well, Cheryl, what do you mean you had to work on things? And a lot of it has to do with the dynamics that occurs in a relationship. A lot of times there's a change in the connection in a couple. It also means that sometimes attachment is not present. And so then you have to kind of try to figure out like what's in the history that might have impacted attachment. Sorry, excuse me. It's kind of late. Maybe I should be doing more of these during the daytime. Anyway, I really wanted to just get on here and have an opportunity to speak with people and to let them know who I am. If you're watching this, I hope that you are getting the support that you need. If you have had to go through betrayal trauma, breakups sometimes occur, or separations occur, or possibly there's this response of keeping things quiet, like not rocking the boat or resisting having conversations. So basically pretending that nothing happened. There's just a level of embarrassment, humiliation, shame, maybe a little bit of guilt for what you think you might have contributed to the problem. I just want to encourage you to reach out and find people that will listen to you. It's so easy to become isolated when these things happen for the reasons I just stated, feeling embarrassed, humiliated, guilty. When you don't have a support system, it's really hard to heal because you're keeping a lot of information inside of you. And I know that women seem to heal a lot more quickly when they can share their pains with others and recognizing that this is not just a them issue, it's like a couple issue. So I will probably have more of these sessions, and what I hope to cover are things like how do you heal a relationship, cover maybe some of the symptoms that a woman experiences when they first find out that their partner has cheated. I also want to talk about like what some of the treatment options are for getting help. Sorry, I should probably unlist this afterwards. Um, okay. Well, I'm gonna end this for right now. I'm gonna organize some notes so I can probably jump back on here and uh, explain some more things and share some information. Ultimately, I really feel like there's not enough information that explains like how do you get through this? How do you as a woman heal? How do you as a partner improve or heal the relationship? And, as much as I can, I want to offer help for that. My goal is that if the relationship is going to continue, that it actually is is better off than it was before the acting out, and maybe possibly even better off than when you first um, came together in the relationship. Um, Sorry, I have a cat that wants to join me online. Um, anyway, I hope that you will continue to follow me, and I hope that this gets easier for you to watch. I appreciate the time that you spent watching, and see you in the next session. Thanks.